Hey y'all, this is Jermaine from the Kingz Realm, and we are here at Prayer Mountain, right here in Dallas, Texas. You can see the beautiful scenery from this Prayer Mountain, not too far from where we live, and just really an awesome place to go meditate and really be one with the Lord and get some things off your chest and just talk to Him. Alright, this is where we'll be shooting our video today.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Kingz Realm. We are
Jermaine
and Nicole, also known as Nikki. Today's topic we're going to look at
how to stop avoiding the warning signs.
Alright, and we're going to dive right into that right after prayer.
Right. Father God, us in the name of Jesus we come, Lord, recognizing that your name is great and you're truly worthy to be praised. God, we pray that something is said or done in this video that will help someone think differently about certain aspects in life. God, we pray that it doesn't fall on deaf ears, but something good comes out of this video, Lord, for those viewing and for us who are actually cutting the video, Lord. We thank you in advance for what you're going to do. These things we ask in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. So we have all had a time where we're traveling and we're driving and you see all these warning signs on the road about, expect delays, road work ahead, construction ahead. Yeah. And I know that there's been times where I'll come up on the traffic and all of a sudden you have a slowdown or a traffic jam, because even though the signs around us say this lane will be merging into one lane, or go to the left lane and merge and road lane ending. Right. People tend to wait until the last minute to get over because they're not heeding to the signs. And when you don't heed to the signs, then you end up having a delay and a traffic jam. Mm-hmm. And then it just impacts not only you, but it can have an impact on other people. All because we didn't pay attention to the signs. Or have you ever had a time where you may have seen someone get pulled over and get a ticket from a cop? Why? Because the speed limit changed. But even though there were signs all around saying, the speed is changing, or slow down ahead, they keep going straight forward and not paying any attention to the signs. And then it can end up with a consequence such as a ticket and getting pulled over. Well, just like in life, how we have signs all around us, we like to look at it from the spiritual eye as well, and thinking that God does give us signs. He shows us things and he directs us. But the nice thing about God, in any situation, that he lets us have free will, and he's not going to force anything on us. So he can give us the signs, but it's up to us to pay attention to those signs. So just elaborating on that a little more from the spiritual realm, and just even connecting it to daily life. Right.
And one of the dangers of actually ignoring the signs, the stop signs, traffic signs, is that we find ourselves in bad or compromising situations. And then what I really hate is that we turn around and people love to blame God for their unfortunate circumstances or their bad situation. They find themselves in a bad marriage, they find themselves in a bad relationship, they find themselves in a bad job, this, that, and the other, and they look at God and say, God, you dealt me a bad hand. When in actuality, he has placed warning signs around them the whole time. I like to quote, we listen to CHH, and so there's this old song by The Truth out of Philly, and he said, there's a line in one of his songs, he says, they say experience is the best teacher. That's what they teach us in school. I say experience is the teacher of fools. For a wise man will learn from another man's errors and apply it to determine what he shall choose. So oftentimes God actually blesses us with the privilege of seeing other people make the mistakes that he's trying to avoid us from making. Like if you have an older sibling and your older sibling touches a stove and they get burnt, like you would literally be a fool to say, you know what, I think I'm going to go ahead and I got to touch the stove for myself to see if it actually is hot. Like, never mind that, my big brother, my big sister, they got burnt. I want to test the stove out to see if it's really hot. Now I know that there are some things in life that you can only learn by experience. I get that. But oftentimes there's a lot of things that we don't have to learn from experience firsthand. And if you find yourself in a situation that you know is wrong, that God is saying, you know what, this ain't right. Like you have that tugging in your heart that you're going in the wrong direction. Turn around. Because think about it. Listen. All right. If you're taking a road trip, if you say I'm going to go from Oklahoma City to Dallas, Texas, most people would take I-35 south. But say, for instance, you get on the road and you actually go the wrong way and you take I-35 north and you're an hour into the trip and you realize, hey, listen, I'm going the wrong way. But because you don't want to look like a fool, because you don't want to waste gas, you start thinking about, well, I've wasted gas and I've wasted 1 hour's worth of gas and I've driven this far. Listen, let me tell you something. If you could decide to keep going north, even though you know you're supposed to go south, guess what? You going north doesn't stop being the wrong direction. Just because you choose to continue to go in a wrong direction, the direction is not going to change. It's not like Dallas is going to change positions and go north and be north of Oklahoma City. It's going to continue to be south of Oklahoma City. It's going to continue to be where it is. So just because you're dead set on going in the wrong direction, it doesn't mean that it's right to keep going. So you may as well swallow your pride, turn around, and say, you know what, I messed up. Let me go back to where I was before. Let me gas up. Let me face the people. Let me face the music. Though people may criticize what I did, I went the wrong way, I went the wrong direction. Guess what? You can still have another chance. You can gas up and be on the right path to go to your destination, which is Dallas, Texas.
I mean, we always tie everything back to the Word of God. So, in the Word of God it says, Proverbs 3:5 and 6, trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not into thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path. So we know that if you put your trust in God and you really seek Him, He is going to order your steps, and He's going to direct you in the way that you should go. So it's up to us to just make sure that we're listening to what it is that He's telling us to do and heed to those signs. Right.
Amen. So again, y'all, look for the warning signs. Now, you may ask a question, okay, how do I get to making the right decisions? Well, number one, it first starts off with, the Bible says to seek wise counsel. So, go to someone that you know has a good relationship, or you proceed to have a good relationship with God and you've known them for a while. Go to them and seek wise counsel. That's another way to start making good decisions. And a second way to start making a decision is the obvious, to pray to God. Pray to God. Pray for a direction. Pray for Him to navigate your steps. The Bible says that the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. And then lastly, we do the first part of praying to God, but oftentimes we don't want to be patient enough to wait on an answer. And so the third thing is be patient. Yeah. Wait on God to give you an answer. Don't pray to God and then 5 minutes later you got to make a decision. Because God moves when He moves. God makes His decisions when He makes His decisions. He's going to speak to you in due time. But don't get in such a rush to where you rush through life and then you end up making a bad decision. You end up making temporary problems, a permanent situation, or a permanent problem. So y'all know what I'm saying. So.
But yeah, it's just making sure, and also when you're in prayer, not doing all the talking, because communication is two-way. So
dialogue.
There should be a dialogue. So when you're having your intimate prayer time with God, making sure that you are taking time to listen to what it is that He is telling you to do, and also just being quiet so that you can hear what He has to say to you as well.
Yeah.
Another piece I want to just add on to, because you were talking about seeking wise counsel, know that every time that you are asking for something, make sure that you are really sincerely listening to what it is that God has to say, because every time you get an answer, it may not be the answer that you want. It may not always feel good.
Sometimes the answer is a no, and that's God's answer.
Yeah. And no's, it could feel like a no to you at that time, but it could actually be a not yet. It could be something that is not time in that particular season, because God sees the whole picture, like we talked about in previous videos. But we only see bits and pieces. So be willing to accept that. We also have just a little funny story to end off with, but we know a couple who was driving. They were going out of town. They ended up getting pulled over, and the officer, when he pulled them over, said, what's going on? I clocked you at this speed, and the speed is really such and such. And he said, you know, you passed about 8 signs that told you to speed.
Yeah.
So, you know, the couple could have easily said, but, you know, no one told me. But in the officer's case, he's like, listen, the signs are there. You just weren't paying attention to it.
That's right.
So I would just like to think of it from a spiritual, you know, side of how God may be doing the same thing. You know, listen, I showed you the signs, but you just didn't see it. So please just, you know, keep your eyes open, stay in the Word of God, stay committed to your prayer time, and continue to let God direct your path.
Amen.
So we hope something was said or done in this video that encouraged you and just to keep on going a little further in your journey. And you can also check us out on
Facebook, all the social media platforms. We also have the new website at www.thekingzrealm.com. Thekingzrealm.com. So thank you all. Thank y'all for your patience, and thank you for your viewership. We appreciate it. Please consider subscribing. We look forward to seeing you on our next video. Y'all take care.
All right. Till next time.
All right.